take it out of order. What's your expectation from outside counsel in the process of deciding about and integrating an outsourcing solution into how you deal with these things? Do you want counsel to lead the way? Do you want counsel to just get out of the way? You want counsel to give you specific recommendations and then you make the choice?
Yeah, that's a great...
Or something else.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great question because it's communication, right? The better we communicate on the front end of anything, whether it's little or big, right? The better the outcome generally is. And so we think the better we sit down and we talk about those things right up front, the better off the process is going to be and hence the result. So here, if I'm the smartest guy in the room, we're all in problems. We all have problems. But why should we not include outside counsel in those discussions? Because we still believe it's an advocacy-based relationship, and we want to draw upon your experience, just like we're drawing from others. Doesn't mean we're necessarily going to accept it, but why would we simply ignore it by virtue that we ask you to stand aside on a problem that you probably dealt with in the past?
Have you had, and this is for the whole panel, have you had occasion to do some sort of Monday morning quarterback thing with counsel after a litigation experience and say to yourself, we could have done this better. We could have lowered costs in this area. Or if we had followed this strategy, we might have gotten to a solution faster. Anybody had that sort of, and more to the point, do outside counsel offer that to you? Would you like it?
I haven't really done that, although I'm trying to sort of stay on top of that going forward. Every case we settle, I have a little chart that I keep track of what it settled for, what the reserve was, what the legal expenses were, and then my paralegals and I give the law firm a grade, and then we try to go back and...
Do they know what the grade is?
Well, if they don't do any more work for us, they can assume what the grade is. We don't tell them what the grade is, but we do try to make a process of providing feedback.
It always comes down to dating. She just doesn't call you again, But in that regard, the feedback mechanism is part of the communication, at least in my humble opinion. And the problem is most outside counsel think from the standpoint of hustling for the next job, right? And so the pitch and that sort of stuff is, you lose track of look, we're in this together. We're working on this on a long-term sort of basis, so let's just try to make it better going forward. And somehow that's got to be built into the system. I'm not quite sure what the best way to do it is.
I think that's one of the opportunities we're going to have is in being a paperless environment, we're going to be able to capture all those hard invoices in an e-format, not just so we can tell everybody you spent too much money, but we're capturing that data so we can do that kind of postmortem with objective facts and figures in front of us, because I think that's critical to the outcome of on these larger cases and these bigger matters that we litigate for years, and we got millions of documents, and we end up resolving it at some point, but we never go back and take a look at the lessons learned, because chances are if we stay in that industry or in that business, it's going to come around again. It may not be a leaky refrigerator, but it's going to be the washing machine this time. So how do we, with all that captured data, how can we learn the lessons to build a more efficient model without, always saying, well, you know what, had you told me you were using an outside source to do all the photocopying, I may have made a different decision, or I'm just going to arbitrarily withhold X amount on these final bills just to make sure that you feel, somewhat obligated to do a better job next time.
Yeah.